Yeah, we got the brand new Outcast chicken jig. It's an oversized preacher jig. Been killing them in the northern waters. It's kind of thought of as a Tennessee river bait, ledge fishing bait, but we've been crushing them up north on it for the last few years. And a couple different ways you can work it. First off, set up at like a long rod, at least 7 foot plus. I'm throwing an 8-footer right now. I go 40-pound 832 suffix braid to a 20-pound suffix fluorocarbon leader, but fishing this on mostly hard bottom areas. You can fish around grass a bit, but after we've located where the fish are, I'll take a cast, bomb it out, let it hit the bottom, and then let it settle. Crank it up 2-3 times, and then just kind of pendulum swing it back down to the bottom. I don't let complete slack in the line. I want a little bit of tension on the line to get that jig to kind of glide back down to the bottom, and just ripping it up and letting it fall. And 9 times out of 10, they smoke it on the way down. Sometimes you'll catch them when you're burning it up, but it really kind of targets the big fish in the schools versus smaller hair jigs or drop shots and stuff like that. Pretty much every bite you get on this is going to be a good fish. And you definitely know when you get a bite. They knock the snot out of this thing when it's falling. When you get them fired up on this bait, it's like hands down the best thing you can throw in there, just because it's it targets the big fish in the schools. We do have a couple different colors. Right now I'm throwing white. We got a more of a shad colored pattern one, and a black one, and also a bluegill one. That bluegill one's probably the best in the real clear water or clear water. Today we got pretty limited visibility on this, like maybe a couple feet, so the white's pretty hard to beat in those conditions. Even though up north our fish aren't eating shad, it still seems like you catch a lot of fish on white, even though these fish out here are eating bluegills.
It's a 3/4 ounce jig we have in 3 different sizes. We have 1/2 ounce, 5/8, and 3/4. And what makes these different than any other hair jig out there is our we have a huge VMC 5/0 hook in there, which gives you the option to really reef them in when you set the hook. Works really well on Minnetonka, Waconia, pretty much anywhere there's bluegill or crappie in a lake. And it also has this big long chicken feather on it. That's kind of the name of it, it's a chicken jig. You're not going to go out and catch 100 2-pounders on it, but you are going to go out and catch some of the biggest bass in the lake or in the system. It has a big profile to it, so it falls really slow, so you can keep it up in the zone. There's a lot of times we're fishing right now in 15, 16 feet of water. Those bluegills or crappies will suspend 5 feet underneath the surface. So this jig allows you to fish pretty much any water zone, which I think is so crucial about it, because with the more hair, you can keep it up if you want to. And a lot of these northern lakes also have coontail in it, and that coontail kind of grows off in shelves. So it's really hard you throw a crankbait or a roller jig or a Carolina rig, you're stuck in the bottom of the coontail. Well, this jig allows you to fish 5 feet off the bottom in 20 feet of water, where there's nothing out there you can't fish those fish with any other lure. That's why I think it's so successful.
This is the kind of stuff I'm looking for to throw the chicken on. You can see out here, we just came up on this point. It's all soft bottom out here. You can see right here, the bottom started to get hard. Then we got a bit of rock running through here. These bass in the summertime love sitting on these deeper rocks. Like I said, the bluegills are hanging out here. They'll sit up on these little boulders and kind of ambush the bluegills as they come by, and that's probably an ideal place to throw a chicken. It'd be really good if it was on a grass edge, just like the grass is really shallow, so we're not gonna get to see that, but we just got a nice little strip of rock here. Pretty simple stuff. It ain't crazy deep, but stuff you can see easy with your side scan. This is kind of a ridge of rock, so I'll come out here, throw a waypoint on one end of it, and then go up here and throw a waypoint on the other end of it. Then I'll just spin around, line those up, and throw the chicken right down it. And those are kind of the best places I'm looking for to throw this kind of bait. And this one I didn't see a ton of bluegills on. We'll still make a few casts here anyways, but a lot of times you'll see big balls of bluegills suspended up on these, and a lot of times you'll see all those little honeycomb areas where the bluegills spawn. That's something that pops out on the side scan really well too. So just something to keep in mind to look for when you're outside scanning, looking for these summertime fish, and a great place to throw the chicken.
So I'm going to kind of show you my presentation. Seth, Feider, fishes it a little different than I do. I like to throw it out there, big long casts. I like to use like a 7.4 Tatula Daiwa rod with, I kind of like a lighter rod. Seth likes a real heavy rod. I like a lighter rod. I fish on a 20-pound floral, and I let it sink to the bottom and where there's no weeds or any coontail. And I kind of stroll it in like a crankbait. You just kind of pull it ahead and pick up your slack on it, and they'll whack it pretty hard when they hit it. Oh, there one was. But where these really shine are the hard bottom transitions, the edge of the coontail or the edge of the weed growth in your lake, or long, extended, hard spots off of points or inside turns. You can see I'm just strolling. It's making contact with the bottom, and then I pull it up. Makes contact, pull it up, drop the slack. And a lot of times when you're dropping that slack is when they'll hit it, and sometimes they'll really pound her. Sometimes it just feels like a little bluegill tick, and they most of the time it's pretty much engulfed. I mean, they really stomp on it when they eat it. You can see it in the water. It looks like the white kind of looks like, we have shiners up here. Our northern lakes have Cisco. And also I think a lot of times the bass feed a lot on crappies in these northern lakes. And like I said, there's nothing out there that really imitates it like our new chicken fly.